CLT, Communicative Language Teaching, is one of the latest humanistic approaches to teaching. Approaches which give emphasis to the language use and provides more opportunity to learn and practice in the real-life situations. Some of the major features of communicative language teaching are: it's not important that the mistakes that the students can do. It does mean that the grammar is not essential for effective communication, rather systematic treatment with all the functions and norms that the language needs. It means that emphasis is also given to meaning, rather than to the form. Fluency and accuracy are seen as complementary principes in the communicative techniques. This means that fluency is emphasized over accuracy in order to keep learners meaningfully engaged in the language use. It's important, however, that fluency should never be encouraged at the expense of clear, ambiguity, or maybe direct communication. Language teaching techniques are designed to engage learning in a pragmatic, authentic, and functional use of the language for meaningful purposes. Classrooms should provide opportunities for the students to make real-life situations and provide opportunity for real communication. Emphasize on creative role-play, simulations, dramas, games, and maybe projects. These activities, which can help to the learning and provide spontaneity and improvisation, not just repetition and drills. Another characteristic of classroom process is the use of authentic material, because it fails to give students the opportunity to develop all the strategies that they need, and with this they can develop all the skills in order to put in practice the use of the language. Some advantages to the CLT are the following. It motivates students to improve their ability of using English by themselves, since it emphasizes on fluency in the use of the language, meaning that it provides students with assignments that allow them to improve their own ideas about what are they going to talk and how they are going to express their ideas. CLT focuses on enhanced communicative competence. Thus, this means that the learners use the language in a communicative situations to satisfy their needs in a real-life communication. Is a priority in CLT. In other words, it brings the real-life situation of the native English into classroom activity. CLT classes have moved from teacher-centeredness to learner-centeredness. In other words, much time is used by the learner that the role of the teacher is just to facilitate the learning process. Thus, the learner should exercise the communication enough in CLT class to achieve communicative competences. Some disadvantages of CLT are the following. The approach gives priority to meanings and rules of the use rather than to the grammar and rules of structure. In other words, it's felt there is not enough emphasis in the correction of pronunciation or grammar mistakes. The CLT approach focuses on fluency but not accuracy in grammar and pronunciation. Communicative language teaching leads to production and fluid but accurate learning. This happens, and it could be a little dangerous to giving priority to the fluency over to the accuracy in CLT classes. The CLT approach is great for intermediate students and advanced students, but for beginners, some controlled practice is needed. But with low levels of fluency in the language, it could be difficult to participate in oral communicative activities. And in the exams used by institution, they need a grammar base in order to complementary the communicative competence. As a conclusion, today the main purpose of learners of English as a foreign or second language is that they could be able to use the language independently and fluently in a variety of real-life communicative situations, such as when someone is on a trip, in a meeting, or maybe in a restaurant. Since language is a means of communication and CLT may enable to learners to effectively communicate in real-life situations, it is a good tool that the learners can use in a meaningful way. Tell me and I forget it. Teach me and I remember it. Involve me and I learn it. Benjamin Franklin.